Welcome.
Hey.
Hey.
Oh.
Summer is upon us.
Was it not before?
It was not, and now it
Right.
is, and I am sweating balls here in Chicago.
Oh my God, it's been terrible down here for like 2 months, so...
It's been 90 degrees today. I don't like that. Like, it chokes you when you go outside. Life shouldn't work that way. Nature shouldn't be choking you when you go outdoors. That's not how life should be.
90 degrees sounds like heaven compared to what we've been dealing with.
I don't know what your idea of heaven is, but mine is a place where I can breathe.
I mean, it's been...
1 week since you looked at me. Okay, sorry, I couldn't resist.
Oh my God. I'm trying to remember what all of the terrible... I need to look this up now, of how terrible it's been. Like, we don't get snow and stuff like that, and we're real lucky we don't deal with that, but like, it's... Oh.
Well, we've officially hit rock bottom because we're two friends.
We're talking about weather?
After a week of not talking, we're like, so, how about that weather, huh?
Well, you brought it up.
I know.
So it's
but
your fucking fault.
It was oppressive today. Now it's like in the 70s, so I guess that's cool. Anything's better than watching Ravens Home on the Disney Channel, so whatever.
Yeah, that was awesome. Like, ugh. Yeah, okay, so Clearwater Beach, the beach, the water was 91 degrees last week.
Okay. So what I hear you saying is heated pool. What I'm saying is concrete jungle, 90 degrees. Now, Lex, when you were in town for Shiner Fest,
it was 107 degrees heat index here, dude.
Did you see any like beaches or anything like that, or was it just all concrete the whole time you were here, like little scant patches of grass?
Do you think I just live on the beach?
I mean, yeah.
Serious question. I don't fucking live on the beach, dude.
You live on America's dick. There's beach everywhere.
There is you know how long it takes me to get to beach? About a half hour.
Okay, well, I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
Anywho.
No, it's not like it's that far away, but nah.
Yeah.
No, you're not going to win this game with me. You can have the snow and cold game. You definitely win that. You have the wind game you won, but I win when it comes to lightning and cooking humans. Just, yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to do that. We try not to cook our humans here in Chicago, but it ends up happening somehow sometimes. Before we get started, shout out to I Love This Pod for their shout out to us on Instagram. Thanks for listening.
Oh, did he shout us out?
Yeah, I Love This Pod tagged us in their story and said, nice. I've already tried to join in on the conversation so many times. And that's like a huge compliment. I love when people tell me that, actually.
Yeah. I agree. That's my favorite compliment. Yeah. I was just talking to the person behind I Love This Pod. I actually don't know your name. So.
That's why I was ambiguous with the pronouns. Yeah.
But I talked to the guy behind that podcast and earlier, so I was literally just talking to them because they were just like asking some questions on Instagram, and I like to try to reach out to people whenever as possible. So go check out their podcast.
Check it out.
What's the Instagram tag again?
It's I love this pod.
Yeah, simple. I love this pod. It's a good name. I like
wonderful.
That name.
Yeah, I mean, it's a positive thing. Gets across their point. Right to it.
Yeah, it's better than I fucking hate this pod. What if it was that? Oh, that'd be terrible.
Yeah, I started watching this YouTube channel today that a friend of mine recommended to me. And, I mean, there's a lot of good information on there and everything, but the guy, he's just like ragging on comics. And, all right, so I'm a little biased because, and this is one of those moments that's going to get people to stop listening to the show if they are of a certain age and passion.
Oh, I'm excited. Go.
Well, you're not. This is going to be a big disappointment for you. I enjoyed the Clone Saga.
Why is that a disappointment?
Well, because the majority of comic readers, like, that was the go-to thing to shit on. It's like hating on episode 1 through 3 of Star Wars.
You're talking about the with Romita and
Oh, there were so many people involved. The Spider-Man clones. So around the time that
But who was that was the 90s, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. So it had like Tom DeFalco was like the spearhead of it and everything, and he was the editor of Marvel at the time. But there was a YouTube guy that I was watching who he did a great job of like breaking down the different story beats and talking about how it fell apart and everything. But you know, he did these little things in between there where he just took it upon himself to just like complain about it.
Yeah.
And one of his biggest complaints about it was that it was going around in circles. But during his complaining about it going around in circles, he was going around in circles as if almost to illustrate his point.
So I've struggled with this with a lot of things. I've found a good balance with people that I trust, seemingly, because they understand story and critical breakdown and things like that. That's what they do. That's what their YouTube channels are. So I've run into that with comic book stuff, with literature, with movies, with TV shows. More recently, getting into, like, I've finally just allowed myself to watch some of these YouTube, like, retrospectives on Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
My favorite has been Lindsay Ellis, because I feel like, first of all, I just think she's very talented and very good at understanding story.
For a half second, I thought you were talking about Tracy Ellis Ross, and I got excited. But
oh God, I wish
that would be cool.
No offense to Lindsay Ellis, but yeah, no, I think that if you go look, she did a whole. I mean, it's like 40 minutes long.
Yeah, Lindsay Ellis does some interesting stuff. Like I
don't always agree with her, but I appreciate where she's coming from, and that she doesn't. So I like when they don't just shit on a project, when they're really looking at it from, like, especially when they're like, hey, I love this thing. Yeah. I have loved this thing for some time. Let me go into why I think they made a mistake. And if I feel like that's your perspective, then I'm happy.
Yeah.
If I feel like you're one of those people that's like, I didn't even like it. I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah. I liked her dissection of the whole Disney versus Robin Williams thing regarding his portrayal of the genie in Aladdin.
I don't know if I've seen that. I haven't gone back and watched it because her videos are long. Like you're sitting with it. So if a video is over 10 minutes, let's say, is roughly my rule of thumb, I immediately add it to, like, so the videos that you sent me, the roller coaster stuff, all that, I immediately go watch later. And then I have YouTube times where it's like once a week or whatever, or whenever, like, if I don't quite want to focus too much, but, like, you know, I'm kind of an in between where I want to watch something, I'll go into those deep dive videos that I've saved up. And, you know, so I love documentaries and stuff. Like, I have a Matrix documentary sitting in there that's like an hour and 30 minutes long.
Okay.
But I just haven't gotten into it yet.
Yeah.
So I haven't watched all of her stuff, but I do like it. I like Emergency Awesome. He does his videos aren't super long usually. They're more like a 10-minute one. Mm-hmm. But he does, like, so I think I've sent you a couple of these, but he does breakdowns of all of, like, the Marvel stuff, everything like that's going on. And he gets to go to screenings and stuff. So he's already seen Far From Home. I think he saw it last week, and, you know, he can give spoiler free, and then he does Easter egg breakdowns and everything like that.
I like that. After I saw
it. Like, you can feel he does not want to bash any of the stuff.
Well, that's cool. I highly recommend, after you see Toy Story 4, tracking down one of those videos regarding Easter eggs for that, because there's so much that flew under my radar. And I like to think that I'm, like, you know, a good Pixar historian, but yeah, there was so much content in there that was just like, oh, this is a nod to the woman who used to bring us coffee on Mondays, and her name was Elsie, and we named this character after her. Just little stuff like that. I'm exaggerating.
I need to see it.
Yeah.
But, like, my priority right now is to get to see Spider-Man before we record the next episode, because you're going to see it this weekend. I am.
I gotta make time to see Spidey, because this is, like, you know, this is the epilogue.
It's a Marvel movie. Like, I need to, like, I don't need to see every Marvel movie in theaters. But I mean, I actually didn't see the first one in theaters.
Okay.
I didn't, even though I love Spider-Man. I've been spidered out at times.
2018 was a good year for Spidey. I mean, I think we've kind of touched on that before. We had the game. We had Into the Spider-Verse. We had.
I didn't see that in theaters either.
Oh yeah, that was a treat. I really enjoyed that.
I love that movie, by the way. I saw it and I loved it. I liked Homecoming. My thing is, I was really angry when they ousted Andrew Garfield.
Oh,
I understand that Amazing Spider-Man 2 was bad. I will not deny that for a second. Like, it was very, very bad. It didn't know what they didn't know what they were doing. I thought the first one was really good. I remember specifically when they cast Mary Jane in the second one. Do you remember this? What happened?
Yeah, they just cut her out of the movie completely, right?
No. That is not what happened.
Uh-oh.
What happened, well, yes, that is what happened. But there was a reason for that.
Okay.
And the reason was, so they cast Shailene Woodley, she did the Divergent movies. She's in Big Little Lies right now. Terrific actress. They cast her as MJ, and it was going to be a cameo. Lesser role, maybe just a cameo.
Okay.
And so she went and she filmed. She had her red hair and everything like that. You can go look up pictures of it. And there were paparazzi pictures that leaked. And all of the fanboys decided she was fat.
Oh, boy.
She's not even remotely fat.
Yeah.
She's like Jennifer Lawrence build.
Okay.
You think Jennifer Lawrence is fat? Fuck no. She's athletic. That kind of build. It was an unflattering paparazzi photo. And I remember being in the comic shop that week and hearing this shit. She doesn't look like X, she doesn't look like Y. It was disgusting. And from that point forward, I've had that, and then it was, so she was cut from the movie, and then it was just everything went tumbling downhill from there. I feel like that was really where the fuck up started, was they were like, oh no, they don't like her. I'm like, who gives a shit? They haven't even seen it. You don't know. I remember being so angry and getting into so many arguments over that. And I was done. So I got burned by what I felt like studio messing up in so many different ways, which we can't deny that Sony was completely lost with the Spider-Man movies.
They were, but yeah, it wasn't that poor girl's fault. No.
She's
an actress in a role.
Factor of that, and then Amazing Spider-Man 2 sucked.
Yeah.
And I thought that they rushed the Gwen story. So Spider-Man 2 fell apart, and I was so disappointed because I really loved the first one.
Okay.
I got really into that, and then just to watch it, this potential franchise just crumble, and then everyone be really excited. This thing that I really loved, everyone got so excited that it failed because it could go. They were like, "Oh, now it's going to go to Marvel." I'm like, I genuinely was enjoying this, and I thought that they could have integrated him into these movies if they wanted to, but no, you decided it has to be what you want it to be.
I don't think the fans can be completely blamed for that. Aspect of it. I think it was.
No. I'm saying the celebration pissed me off.
Yeah, but I think a lot of what added to that.
It was Sony.
to that venom was the Sony hack, Just seeing that there was. I think part of the Sony hack, it was
that was bad. That was a lot of movies.
But we found out that there was a lot riding on, Amazing Spider-Man 2, so much so that I think people acknowledged that, if it did fail, then they were going to begin talks with Marvel, just knowing that talks with Marvel were happening. That gave hope where there was none, where there would have been, I think, more of a conscientious effort to just give it a fair shake. But now, you had the deck stacked against it.
I didn't even think of that. That's a fair point. They were still dicks about it, but
we're still paying for that Sony hack. As far as entertainment goes. And I know I don't want to trivialize the real people that were affected by that. The employees, the management, real people lost their jobs over that. But I mean, just the entertainment aspect of it on the very low part of the scale. The most recent Men in Black movie that came out is completely different than the one that they were kicking around. They were talking about doing the Men in Black 21 Jump Street crossover, and I thought that would have been all right, that's interesting.
That would have been weird, yeah.
It would have been totally weird, but it would have been interesting,
Yeah, I would have been intrigued. I like those movies.
I would have showed up for that. But yeah, this most recent Men in Black didn't resonate with a lot of people. A lot of folks are just kind of disappointed by it. So
I didn't see it.
I didn't see it either, and I had already resolved I was going to wait for the home release for that one anyway.
Yeah.
Just because it seemed like Thor Ragnarok point 0.5 or something.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
I agree. No, that's true. The Interview. Did you ever watch The Interview?
I don't think so.
The Rogen, Seth Rogen.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yes.
It was funny.
It was.
Like, that was ruined by that, and I thought that movie was really funny.
I think that it's kind of you had your pros and cons with that one. I think a lot more people paid attention to that movie because of the the hullabaloo around it. I didn't plan on going to see it until the whole thing happened, and I'm like, oh, it's that bad? It pissed them off that much? I gotta see what this is about now. It was sensationalized all of a sudden, It was a good movie. It was funny, but it was like, all right, it's Seth Rogen funny,
Yeah. I mean, I like that. I like that brand of humor
for sure.
I like those types of movies.
Yeah.
I can find you have to be a really truly terrible comedy for me to be like, I'm out. I'm done with this.
What did you think of This Is the End?
The post-apocalyptic one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really care for it.
Okay.
I did think that one was pretty bad.
I didn't have anything to follow that up. I just was curious because, it's either you hate it or you love it,
I won't even say I hate it because I understood what they were doing. It kind of like with Sausage Party, like when they made. I didn't love that movie.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it again or anything like that. Sometimes a second viewing can make a difference with a movie.
Yeah, that's true.
But like I was like, okay, I get what you're doing. I like that you're doing this. Like I like that you're trying something new. At least with Sausage Party was something new. This Is the End. I could tell it was just something they did with their friends. They were like, let's just have fun.
Now, on that regard, I had the worst idea on my birthday, and it's kept coming back to the forefront of my memory because it keeps coming up in conversation. A friend of mine, Chase, she was talking about some type of crossover with Riverdale, with Riverdale and Gilligan's Island. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I had the worst idea, which was a reboot of Gilligan's Island. I think it's time. It's been long enough. But here's the rub.
Abso-fucking-lutely
We're talking about what? Wait, what'd you say?
Abso-fucking-lutely not.
Dude, it is time.
I hate that show.
Think about this.
Fuck.
Judd Apatow's Gilligan's Island. Boom. Right there. We got Seth Rogen as the skipper. We got Chris Rock as the professor. We got...
No.
It can
I don't even
work.
like Gilligan's Island. You can't sell me on this.
It was a Sherwood Shorts classic sitcom. Everybody loved Gilligan's Island back then. I can't talk tonight. I don't know
back when we had 2 channels.
Exactly. And on one of those 2 channels was Gilligan's Island. On the other one, probably the Brady Bunch. I don't know. But Gilligan was fantastic. We could bring the Harlem Globetrotters on there just like back in the day. It's time. Netflix, listen to me. Instant cash, right there on the table. Talking about maybe even like Adam Sandler as the millionaire. I don't know. Bring in all these comedians, remake Gilligan's Island, do it. Just do it.
Christ, we've done 18 minutes on this bullshit. This is awful. Awful.
All right, folks, let us know.
Welcome to the show.
Let us know if you would watch a remake of Gilligan's Island. I want your feedback. Tweet me.
Let us know if you actually liked Gilligan's Island. Does anyone actually like that?
Hey, you know what? There wasn't much on cable when I was growing up. It was Nick at Night or nothing, basically. So after Perfect Strangers reruns went off.
There are amazing shows from that era.
Okay.
And then there's Gilligan's Island.
Gilligan stayed on that island. Why? Because of fan demand. He could have got off of that island after like 1, maybe 2 seasons.
Gilligan stayed on the island because Gilligan was a fucking idiot.
Hey,
and he would always fuck up the professor getting them off that island.
Or was he? Or was he just so smart that he knew that there was like some type of nuclear situation in the rest of the world or some type of zombie outbreak, and they stayed on that island. Why? To keep them safe. They were the last remnants of humanity. See, Gilligan, he knew. Not even the professor knew. Gilligan knew. 20 minutes now.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. This is Lex and Matt's Excellent Adventure. I'm Matt Peters.
I'm done. I'm Lex. Hello.
Yep, that's Lex. We're here to bring you Podcast Gold, which we've been doing thus far on this episode. Thank you for tuning in once again. I promise you that the 18 episodes that preceded this were not like that. However, you should go back and check them out. And while you're at it, give us a good rating on iTunes because we live on iTunes. So, go check us out over there. Yeah,
subscribe. Give us some downloads. Tell your friends. Tell your family. Don't tell your children. They can't listen. This is not for everyone.
If you got any quinceañeras coming up this weekend, it is quinceañera season. Tell everybody at the quinceañera, I guess. I don't know. Okay. I'm going to go.
Wait, did you just make that up?
I did, but it's a thing now.
The sad part is I would have believed you. I would have been like, oh, yeah, cool.
I mean, I really hope I didn't ruffle any feathers. I'm guessing there's not a bad time of year.
We respect all cultures, and
we absolutely do.
That way?
We absolutely, and I think quinceañeras are pretty dope. I'm not even making fun of that at all. It's just,
They are, and it's like, we just got shitty birthdays in comparison. That's a really fun birthday.
It does sound like a fun time. You get to wear a nice dress and everything. Ponies are involved sometimes. Everybody wins. Yeah. So we have some cool stuff coming up. We've been given, because of you guys, because of your support and because of you folks spreading the word about us, folks are paying attention, and we've been given a few opportunities lately, to share some of that goodwill with you. One of which is a pretty cool offer that we got, from the fine folks over at DC Comics, to share a copy of the recently released Teen Titans Raven book that's coming out. Yeah.
I'm excited. I get to read this. This is a perk for me, too.
That's right. Join
the Graphic Novel Challenge.
That is awesome and accurate. So, of course, Teen Titans. We love Teen Titans. I love Teen Titans. I don't know. Have we ever talked about? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So the book recently.
I know I haven't watched as much as you and been probably as well read as you. I feel like this is a part of your Ducks fascination as well. But yes, I do. I read Jeff Johns' Teen Titans years back.
That was a good run. That was a really good run.
That was like the first 3 trades or something like that, I think was what I read. I liked it a lot.
Yeah. That was kind of a culmination of years of restructuring that brand, because they'd gone with Young Justice for a while. Then they had, kind of broke them up and then bought back together the original Titans team, which is always cool. Teen Titans was actually one of the first comics that I read, like the old Perez Wolfman run back from the 80s.
Yeah.
I had a friend that collected.
I haven't explored that. I need to.
Yeah, I don't know how it's aged. I don't even know if they've really collected it in a solid way. But I had a friend, my buddy Breck that I went to high school with. He had the complete run, single issue. And he was like, I'm going to loan this to you, but if I don't get it back in decent condition, I'm going to have to kill you. I'm like, okay. So that, that made me respect the source a little bit better. So back to Teen Titans Raven. This is a book that is actually out today as we're recording.
Yes.
It's written by Cami Garcia, and it's illustrated by fan favorite Teen Titans artist Gabrielle Piccolo. So if you ever see any like fan art of the Teen Titans online anywhere these days, and you see like Starfire wearing, the whole team has on like casual clothes, just regular kids street clothes, but Starfire has on a shirt that says NASA on it. This is Gabrielle Piccolo's artwork.
Yeah, he's so good.
Yeah.
He's so, I actually did not know he was doing this book. I follow him on social and stuff like that until recently. And then I was like, hey, Matt, I wonder if we can get copies of this to give away.
Oh, that was wild. Yeah.
And you were like, guess what? So yeah, so we're doing that.
There you go.
We're going to be giving away some copies of this graphic novel.
That's right. Yeah. We also want to tell you about the signing of the book happening at Challengers Comics right here in Chicago on July the 12th. That is on a Saturday. And you have... Oh, sorry. No, it's Friday. Forget that last part.
It's on a Friday?
It's on a Friday. July
it's a Friday.
12th.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the 12th, and then they will also sign copies at Books at Anderson's Bookshop on
That's right.
the 13th, the following day, Saturday.
Yeah.
So if you can't make it Friday to the comic shop, you can make it Saturday to the bookshop.
There you go. I know the guys from Challengers too. That's a pretty good shop over there.
Cool.
They have a substantial kids section over there too. Like, it's real comfortable. They're places to just kind of sit and chill out. The owner of the place, Patrick, he's a really nice dude. So yeah, check them out and check us out, and get your copy of Teen Titans Raven.
Yeah.
I tell you what, why don't we do this? Why don't we have people tweet us at Lex and Matt and tell us your favorite Teen Titans story, and we'll pick our favorite. Of course, hopefully you live in the continental United States, and we will mail you a copy. 2 winners.
Yes.
Get a
continental
copy.
United States. Now, I do have a question.
Yes.
About this. So we will pick our favorites or whatever, and we will give them this thing. But what about people who aren't on Twitter?
Oh, well, I mean, they can contact us any way they want to. They can come to us through Instagram at Lex and Matt. They can come to us, through email at lexandmattexcellentadventure@gmail.com, which is a really long email address.
I think it's on there. Okay, yeah. So we will accept entries to this on Facebook, Instagram, and the Twitter.
Yeah. So do any of those things.
Pick 2 winners, and we'll announce them in the next episode.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, so you have 1 week. Less than a week. Whenever this gets released.
Week. No, I'll make it a point to put this one out right away so people can start with their entries. I'm excited because I have so many great memories of Teen Titans over the years. Like, I'm a Cyborg guy. Love me some Cyborg. I think the best depiction of Cyborg is actually not even on a Teen Titans project right now, but the Doom Patrol show, which I'm excited to talk to you about as well at a later time. But
when I watch it one year, one day.
But he's great on there. I love him on Young Justice, of course. The Teen Titans cartoon from the early 2000s was fantastic, and my guilty pleasure. A lot of people don't dig it, but I do. Teen Titans Go. He's just so...
Yeah, I haven't watched that one as much as the other one, but I get it. I get it.
He's just so affable and happy and just joyous. Black Boy Joy. # Black Boy Joy. I dig it. And Kerry Payton has done his voice for the majority of his animated projects. So I think he even does the voice for him on the Lego movies as well. So Kerry Payton's a great dude. Kerry Payton is also the guy that plays King Ezekiel on the Walking Dead show.
Oh, really?
If you're not familiar. Yeah. Yep. Same dude.
Yeah, I don't watch The Walking Dead, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. He's really fun at conventions. I see, videos of him just like having fun with the fans and stuff. So yeah, it's always cool to see that. All right. So yeah, that's a good contest right there. I think folks are going to be happy with the prize. Yeah,
get a graphic novel. And then when you're on all of our social stuff, follow us, share us, do all that.
Yeah.
Get the word out about the show.
That's always a good idea. So I should ask you, how you feeling, by the way?
Oh, I'm good. Okay. It was a sinus infection. I thought it was just allergies that night, but I ended up getting sick with a little a minor sinus infection. It wasn't that bad. So that's one of those things that like maybe I get one a year, if that. Not even, maybe every other year. Just every once in a while, get one. Okay. No big deal. I was fine.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yeah, but... I did like cease all functions though, cease all motor functions, because I was like, all right, clearly my body is telling me you gotta rest up. So I did, and I just chill. I didn't write. I didn't work out. It just took a couple days off there and relaxed. And I ended up replaying all of The Last of Us.
Well, it's cool because you were talking about replaying that anyway, but I imagine you didn't intend to like down it that fast.
No, God no. I never down. Although I will say that game plays much faster than I remembered.
Yeah, I mean, well, you weren't trying to do all like the, hidden stuff, right? You were just going straight through the story?
No, I was doing everything.
Wow.
I was trying to get everything.
Okay.
I mean, I probably didn't. Like, I'm sure I didn't get everything. I wasn't going by a guide or anything, but I was looking around for all of the little, like, pendants and all the little stuff. I didn't do the DLC, though.
Oh, yeah.
So, that's another X hours.
Right. That's fast, too, though. I remember that. We finished that, like, in an afternoon. That was so fast. Yeah.
It would have been, I'm sure it would have been that way. And then I tried to go and do Wolfenstein 2. Yeah. And that game is really fucked up, and it was messing with my brain.
It's
and
dark.
I was like, I can't do this.
It's really dark. Yeah.
And it's weird, because The Last of Us is dark, too, but not that way. Not that kind of dark.
Right.
So I was like, I can't do this. So now I'm looking for another game, because I'm in a gaming mode, clearly. Mm-hmm. When I play that much, I rarely get in those modes where I'm, like, into it. So now I'm like, okay, even though I'm feeling better, I want to game still to a degree while also fair. Functioning. So now I'm like, okay, I'm playing a little bit of Spider-Man again, but I'm like, I feel like I played this. So I was looking at Horizon Zero Dawn again.
Yeah.
Because I like stealthy games, and I like, or when you can have the option of stealthy. Mm-hmm. I like bows. Like that was when I was playing The Last of Us. I was like, got my bow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be stealth. Like that is what I want to do in this game.
Well, that's how I played the majority of Skyrim. Me and most people that played Skyrim. You talked about Spider-Man for a second. I am incredibly impressed that Insomniac released new costumes for that game this far into the game's life.
I know. It's incredible.
Yeah.
No, so I'm looking at that Horizon Zero Dawn. Uh-huh. I'm looking at the Mario for the Switch.
Mario Maker's fun. I posted a video of that on my Twitter the other day. These like created levels are just unforgiving, but they're fun. Like
that's the part where I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's some that are very stressful, but there's some that are easygoing and inventive, and I love that when they can find that nice balance. And what's cool about Mario Maker is, like, they brought this back from the other one. It has the rating system. So if you like a level, you can give it a yay. If you don't like it, you can give it a boo. Not to be confused with the Boo Buddies, because they're present and they have the little adorable hiding faces in there still. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of cool stuff in there, but one thing that they added to this one that wasn't present in the last one is it has a story mode now.
That's nice.
So they have levels created by the Nintendo staff and all the various different versions of Mario. But your goal is to collect coins in order to like rebuild Peach's castle. Like that's just like from the jump. So that's cool. I also like the idea.
That's a better sell.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the idea that coins actually like mean something. Like you're saving up for something and it's not just, you get an extra life, because they don't really matter in this game, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's cool.
Okay. So I was also looking at God of War.
Okay.
But I've never played God of War.
Like any of them?
No.
Oh man, that's going to be a tough sell then. Like I love God of War.
Okay.
Admittedly,
that's what I was wondering. Is this a sell for people that have played the game, or is it just a great game? Because I know it's like reviewed.
I'd have to ask the audience for this one, because like I've played all of the God of War games. I've liked the majority of them. I've disliked a couple of them, but those are like on Vita, and they were kind of just like bland because they didn't really give them as much attention as they needed. The most recent one on PlayStation, it's a meaty game, and it's taken me a long time to get into it, just because like there's such an investment of time that goes into this, just from like absorbing the story and learning the mechanics and everything. It's a beast, and I'm a lazy gamer lately, so I love playing games that I can just pick up and go, like Lara Croft Go or Mario Maker, because it's either you can delve into it, or you can just play it for 5 minutes and then put it down.
Yeah, that appeal is there. I think
Yeah.
that because I was with The Last of Us, I do kind of want to be sucked into a game to a degree, but
Okay.
I get it. I was, because I feel like when I picked up Spider-Man, I was like, this feels like a pick up and go, like, because it's a replay.
Right.
But yeah, I'm leaning toward Horizon Zero Dawn.
Horizon is a meaty game, and I think it has that nice balance of fun mechanics without having to. Oh, of course, like it's the first game in the series too, so there's not all the lore behind it that you have to like know going into it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm also open to suggestions of games. I'm putting that out there. If someone wants to be like, this game is awesome, let me know. I don't know. I'm weird about money right now too, where I'm like, ugh, if the game is expensive. I feel like that's what's holding me back with Mario, where these other games are a little bit older now, so they're like $20.
Yeah. Well, I'll divert back to what I was saying off mic about Mario. Like, it's fun, but the value of it is the longer you wait, the better those levels are going to get.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to rule it out for me. Like, for now, I mean.
Okay. Yeah.
Like you said, because I was asking you about it. I'm like, how essential is this game? And you were like, it can wait. Like,
yeah. Because I played the Wii U version. The Wii U version, I remember that first week of playing it when nobody was really too familiar with it. Like, the levels were okay. But then it's like a month later, it was like you started seeing those levels coming out of Japan where they were like just unforgiving. But there was some fun stuff in there too. Like, I tried to play a level where somebody did, cause you can like program musical notes in there or whatever. Somebody tried to make the DuckTales theme in there. Not that great. But they tried. Yeah. And it's going to get better once they get it down. But right now, yeah, you can kind of just chill.
Yeah, no, I haven't fully decided. I don't know. Might be I give in and get Horizon. I don't know.
Yeah, wait for the Christmas sales on this one, I think.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Horizon goes on sale a lot, so I'm sure you can track that down for a good price.
No, but and last time, remember it went on sale. I didn't get it. I went and it was gone.
Well, there's a Capcom sale this week on PlayStation. I know that I was kind of browsing through that, and I got tempted by Resident Evil 7 because that was the one that they did as a response to the PT trailer.
Oh, yeah.
And I was always curious about that, but I never jumped in.
Are there any good things about it?
I can't find anybody who will talk to me about it. That's the problem. Like I'm like, hey, did anybody enjoy this?
That's not a good sign, buddy.
Right, exactly. I think people just passed on it because it was like, yeah, this ain't PT. Fuck off, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I might jump. It's like $15, so who knows?
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So I'm glad that Last of Us still holds up. I want to go back and play that too. Yeah. Yes,
it does. And it got me really excited for Last of Us 2. I went online and watched that gameplay trailer again.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, please, sir, may I have some more? Please.
Yeah. Man. So I've been a little busy too. I did, after being sick and everything with the pneumonia, I really started trying to get back into, kind of moving around a little bit and everything. And I didn't forget, for those paying attention at home, I committed to doing those 5Ks this summer.
Yeah.
And June was, we ran out of time there. So I had to get that done on Saturday.
Yeah.
I got it done. I got done with the first.
Me.
Yeah. Because it was like, I was happy I finally got a chance to get that knocked out. So the first one was Captain Marvel themed, so I got my Captain Marvel New Era hat, which was really cool. But I found a better one online. It kind of looked more like it was out of the movie, but yeah, it did look a little too militaristic. So
that's the problem. That's the problem that I have with stuff like that, because if you so this is just my opinion. Like, for me wearing the hat, I'm not saying if you wear the hat, this is X, Y, and Z.
Okay.
But I don't want like a veteran or something like that to think that like I'm
perpetrating as a
I like mistakenly for a second to think that I'm that, and then to kind of think that's fucked up. I don't know. Maybe that's overthinking it. But
well, no, because I mean, if you go into like a Starbucks and they're like, "Thank you for your service. Here's a free coffee,"
I don't want that.
And then you walk out and then they see the Marvel logo on the back of the hat. And you're like, "Oh god."
No. Well, first of all, I would say no. I wouldn't take it. I'd be like, "Oh my god, no, that's not." I didn't even want to. Okay, what you're describing is my fucking nightmare, which
Right.
is why I don't buy stuff like that, because I don't for a second want people to think that I'm trying to do something shitty like that.
Yeah.
Because that is definitely shitty.
Like, you remember when camo wasn't as popular as it became.
Yeah.
Where it was
That's
like...
another thing, too. I'm in the South.
Yeah.
So the camo is a thing.
It's a thing.
The pastor wears camo stuff, and I make fun of him for it. But, he lives a little bit further up north. I don't think it's as big of a thing. It depends on what area you get into. But,
yeah, I mean, it was a bigger thing, like, in the late 90s with Master P and No Limit and all that, because they were, like, they were vets of the Gulf War and everything, so they had camo, and then it became popular in pop culture because of that. Yeah, it was a weird time.
It was military, so, like, there's that background, and so it still has those feelings attached to it, which is not like that's and then we have cousins and family members and stuff who have served, so it's one of those things. To me, I see that, and it had the Captain Marvel hat has the American flag on the side, right, and everything. And I'm like, it's not that I'm opposed to that, of course I'm not. It's just the like, oh man, that feels like it's actually too authentic feeling. Like,
right, you don't want to disrespect the flag by perpetrating, oh yes, I served.
It's not disrespecting the flag to me. A flag is an object. It's about the people.
I've said that several times today, unfortunately. Yes.
Wait, what? What did I say? Did I say something wrong? What happened?
No. You said the right thing. You said exactly the right thing there. No, there was and this is completely off topic. There was a news story today about Colin Kaepernick and Nike and how he expressed that he didn't want them to release a shoe that featured the Betsy Ross version, the original Betsy Ross version of the American flag on it. Why? And of course,
I just want to know why. What was the?
Well,
reason?
Yeah, I wanted to know why too.
Okay.
You know why? Because you and I want to know facts before we just fly off the handle about shit. Yeah. So I saw the headline. I'm like, okay, there's more to this story. But of course, people all around me are like, see, he said it wasn't about the flag. It's about the flag. He hates America. He hates the flag. Why are we worshiping this man? It's like, oh, there's a lot to unpack there, Mr. Twitter
and
guy.
And then there's almost saying the N-word. No, whatever. Anyway, so
basically,
what was the more?
It's because he keeps his ear to the ground. And as it turns out, and this is something that I didn't know, that I had to actually research myself today, the Betsy Ross version of the American flag with the 13 stars on it has been adopted by some white nationalist groups as a symbol of white nationalism. I didn't know that.
Okay.
I just thought, okay, it's an antiquated version of the flag. Cool, whatever, if you want to wave that, that's cool. It's historic. I get it. It doesn't hold as much, venom as the Confederate flag. So whatever.
I still disagree with Kaepernick on this.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like
why should we let them take that flag too? Like they already have they can have the Confederate flag. Like they can have the loser flag.
Yeah.
We keep that flag.
But it's still not the current flag. Like what I was thinking about this whole thing is it's still not our current American flag. It's still not the symbol of our country. That's the first thing. The second thing is, all right, so they co-opted it, and they are going to have shoes that they can buy to share their message. Just like when, they co-opted the whole OK hand signal. It's like, all right.
But they co-opted fucking tiki torches too. It doesn't mean you're not going to have a luau. I mean, they can take, you can let them take anything from you, or you can take it back. Right. And there's some things that I don't like. Who gives a shit about the Confederate flag? That. But when you're talking about historically our flag, fuck them. They can't take that from us.
Well, lastly, the thing I felt about it with Kaepernick specifically is, who the fuck is he? I mean, all right. So I'm not saying that disrespectfully.
Say that. You could say that.
Hold on, let me clarify. I mean, when it comes to Nike, when it comes to their board, when it comes to their design team, when it comes to their, social media, street team, whatever you want to call it, Colin Kaepernick is just a guy. All right. He has a voice. He's a very prolific guy in their ad campaigns, and he's saying some things that make sense. But when it comes down to brass tacks and making money, and he says, hey, I don't think this is a good idea, they can tell him to fuck off. They didn't have to listen to him.
But
So
he is. I mean, he's their guy right now, man. Like, what? Who else is like?
I mean, he's part of their ad
brand.
campaign. That's what I'm saying. It's like
so they're taking weight in what he's saying.
They're
Which
taking
I think goes
weight in
back
it.
to
But it's
what?
a conversation. They don't have to agree with it. You know what I mean? It's not like he just says it and it's like, all right, well, this is happening.
I don't understand why this wasn't a conversation publicly in the first place. I'm like, who? I get, oh gosh, I get so frustrated with this when it's like, it's canceled, it's done, it's over. And I'm like, what?
Part
like,
of the problem
okay,
is that this news was announced to us through Wall Street Journal. Wall Street Journal is behind a paywall. So as much as I'm criticizing people for just reacting to the headline, all they got of the story was the headline and the hot takes coming from Twitter.
We got to find a different way to support, and Wall Street Journal is, I do not think that they're this on the level of New York Times and Washington Post, because Wall Street Journal has some problems. But
yeah,
we have to find a way to contribute to these media sources without them keeping honest and fair reporting behind a paywall.
Right, because
I don't know how we do this, because
this is a story that should not have been behind a paywall, especially near the 4th of July.
Stories that shouldn't be behind a paywall.
Right.
And I would argue a lot of our news stories right now should not be behind a paywall. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. But like we also have to contribute to them. I don't know how you fix that, but I think that that's a problem, and I think that's why we have some of these issues of, you know, people not believing things, because they look at that. What if they, you know, someone clicks on New York Times and then it's behind a paywall because they exceeded their 5 limit for the month or whatever. Because God knows more than 5 stories break a day now. And then they go, well, they're just trying to get money. They're not telling the truth. They're just doing, and I'm like, well, they're a business, but I don't know. I think it leads people to go down more shady news websites that don't have a paywall.
According to TMZ, some pairs of the shoes got out to the public beforehand. And so
they made these shoes.
This was a recall. So the shoes were made.
Holy
Colin Kaepernick
fuck.
Expressed concern. He didn't demand.
They recalled.
That's what I'm saying. So he expressed
nuts.
concern. And somebody at Nike was like, nope, fuck it, cancel it. Like, that's what I'm saying. Colin Kaepernick isn't an opinionated man, but he's a man with an opinion. That's all he is.
Can I put an opinion out there or an idea out there, and then you can go, no, Lex.
Sure.
Why doesn't Nike take those shoes and then give those shoes, donate a large portion of their shoes to a bunch of kids who are in, you know, dealing with poverty issues and stuff like that, who come in many different shapes and colors and sizes and everything. And then we'll see how those white nationalists will want to wear those when they're brown and black kids wearing them.
They may have wanted to do that, but given the fact that this just all happened today and it's moving so fast, no one's had a chance to react. So the stores were supposed to mail these shoes back to Nike. They were supposed to be recalled. A website that I see pop up on Instagram all the time called StockX was selling them for $2,500.
It's gonna give you.
Well, now that we've said it out loud, you know your phone is listening. It's like, oh yeah, you want to see this site, huh? I got you. Ugh. Yeah, it's creepy how that happens. So yeah, $2,501 they sold for on this StockX website for a size 8.
That's my size.
Was it you? Did you buy the Betsy Ross?
I mean, no.
Yeah. Yes. So, all right.
While making OK symbols with my MAGA hat and my
and riding your hoverboard for some reason.
Yeah, exactly.
That completes the picture.
They don't get hoverboards. Fuck them.
They don't get. They don't get to co-op hoverboards.
What you're talking about is a bigger thing too, where you know, like you can't have a conversation about it, like the milkshake thing that happened over the weekend.
Yeah.
Which was, anti-fascist protesters throwing milkshakes, which this has been a thing lately of like throwing milk in milkshakes and weird dairy products, I guess. I don't know. Well, it was a reporter, but I guess this reporter is like one of these right-wing guys that's like, he fans a lot of flames. So like it wasn't Like, they knew who he was. They were shouting his name. They knew what they were doing, throwing stuff at him. But apparently there was possibly quick dry cement in them, which is a projectile, which can, and he went to the hospital and had a brain bleed, and at least that's what his lawyer claims.
Yeah.
But people are automatically like cheering this on, and it's no, seriously. And then it's like, if you say, and I've noticed it because I saw Ricky Gervais was one of the people who was like, no, like, don't do that. Right. That's not cool. And then it was like, so you think it's cool to be a Nazi and stuff like that? I'm like, what the fuck? No. Wow. Like, you can stand for the right things without becoming violent that way. And they just gave these right-wing people who say Antifa is a terrorist organization, whatever the fuck they say, which Antifa stands for anti-fascist, which we all should fucking be anti-fascist. This gives them ammunition to say, like, look at what they do to us. We're just peaceful. Like, which is not true. I mean, that guy who ran over Heather Heyer, that was her name, correct? The woman who was killed in Charlottesville. I believe that was her name. Yeah. So he was just, given a life sentence, for killing her. For, hitting her with his car last year before, whatever. Goddamn, time is a flat circle.
It's weird how this works. Like, of course, the increasing, I don't even know how to say it. People just saying fucking punch a Nazi lately. It's been happening a lot.
Yeah.
Right. So, where do you stand on
that? Okay. This is a this is a nuanced thing. Okay. I will say that. I fucking love that video of Richard Spencer getting knocked out or whatever, getting clocked. I think that this is a problem that needs to be dealt with. I do not believe that that's the way we deal with it. And people go, well, that's what we did in World War II, whatever. I'm like, it took 20 billion steps to let them get to that point. And we still live in a democracy. We still have free speech. We still have a lot of options. And, there was a guy who is trying to reform these white supremacists. And I read an article about it last year, year before. And basically it was, I think it was actually Charlottesville, where it was like going back and forth and having problems. And there were people filming this documentary type crew, news crew, whatever. And he was a white supremacist, and he had been a white supremacist for a really long time. And they took him in to protect him, and then started a friendship and communication with him. And they were Jewish. And literally were like, come this way and we will protect you. And so that literally changed his life. And now his life is dedicated to reforming white supremacists. This one person who they showed compassion to because he was a human being, right, who was really lost. And that's what I've noticed more than anything. And I saw a Reddit comment earlier, and it wasn't related to this. It was related to something else. But they said the weird and sometimes terrible things that humans do right now to just try to have connection and tribe. And because I feel like this is a product of internet.
Yeah.
We're not connecting to people.
Yeah.
We're not having conversations that have nuance. We're not seeing the pain on someone else's face when we say a thing.
Right.
We're not, we're not, we're almost like robots. Like we're almost like we're not living in the real world where there are consequences. We're living online where there are no consequences, and then we do things in real life. Like the videos of a kid throwing a milkshake at someone's face. You see it online and you're like, haha. You see that in person, have you ever everyone's had this, but like when something happens, you're in school or whatever.
Yeah.
And something dramatic like that happens, you feel the tension in the air. You
do.
feel it change. You feel like the wind just knock out of the room.
Exactly. 100%.
And then you sit there like a cat with its back arched, at least if you're a fight or flight person like me who fucking flights every time. You sit there and everything's arched and you go, what happens next?
Yeah.
And you deal with that feeling in that moment, and that teaches you there are consequences to the actions.
Yeah.
I think. As long as you're not like a psychopath. So I feel like we're losing some of that connection. I don't know. This might all just be rambling that doesn't make any sense, but
no, I mean, this is important because you're working it out. You're working it out verbally because there's no easy answer here.
There's no easy answer, and I understand that feeling that they have. I have had 20 billion feelings about like these, ICE agents and the guards running that ship that basically I'm not even getting into that. I've had feelings about these fucking people marching in Charlottesville and stuff like that who are, I've had all of these feelings, and I understand that desire, that punch a Nazi thing.
Right.
I get it. Something inside of me just goes, that's not right.
I'm with you to a certain degree.
Yeah, give me this other. I also don't think rainbows fix everything. I don't
think that seeking out adversity in that regard is always the way to go. I'm really trying to be metered with my words here because I don't want to come off as I don't want to come off as not respecting the fight that people put in every day. I respect showing up for protests. I respect showing up in court. I respect showing up, to just make your voice heard.
Right.
It's when things escalate to a point of violence that things get tricky. I've always been taught to never initiate the violence, but to absolutely end the violence if it does approach me.
Yeah, and I've been taught the same thing. And I think that in a lot of these scenarios, what's happening is these guys are being intimidating and they're saying just awful shit. And it's just pushing further and further and further, Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's many schools of thought about it. Of course, people always misquote Martin Luther King Jr. because he was a man of peace, and he did show up with numbers, and oftentimes the violence was inflicted upon those people. Then, of course, people bring up Malcolm X. He showed up in numbers, and he showed strength if need be as well.
Yeah, I prefer Abraham Lincoln, which said
to wrestle a bear.
No, he said he said, "Stop, or I will attack you with the North." Wasn't that the quote from The Office? Sorry. Okay, we got to laugh for a second. Okay.
Was that? It sounds like a quote from Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Stop your nonsense, or I will attack you from the North. With the North. With dragons. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's always been a debate: Martin Luther King versus Malcolm X.
Yeah, and I mean that was it's an ongoing conversation. That's
Where
ultimately what I'm trying to.
Where do you typically stand on that?
I typically stand with Martin Luther King Jr., Dr. King, because honestly, I don't picture my life being about fighting all the time. I'm usually about love.
Yeah.
I
am too. I think that people assume that that's what humanity does, and that's our natural state.
Yeah.
Is fighting and violence and all of that, and I just don't believe that. I believe that the systems that we've created are patriarchy, are white supremacist, are are really fucked up, and they are hurting everyone, including men, like who are white men. It's literally hurting everyone because we've created a terrible system.
Yeah.
But I don't think that resolves itself with more violence and war and everything like that. Because clearly we've been doing that for so long that's not the answer.
It's not. I'm not afraid to speak up. I'm not afraid to step up if need be. But when
Are
it
you
comes
ready to step up to the streets, though?
That's my joke. You stole my joke.
You're welcome.
Yeah. No, I don't want violence, but if it happens, then that's how it is.
What do we think the real end game is here?
The real end game is to get to a point where we can have a conversation. Where we can have understanding.
That's fucked right now, man.
Exactly. We're far from it.
That's the part that bothers me, is that we can't even fucking talk to each other. Even people that agree can't, people that are, you are literally on the same side here. You're both typically left wing, or you're both typically whatever, Christian, and you can't even fucking talk to each other.
Yeah.
And I get it, because I've been in those conversations where I'm like, I have to walk away from this. I can't talk about this with you because you're being insane. And that's because there's so much conspiracy theory in the mainstream now.
Yeah, there's so much.
Remember when there this time where if someone told you that they were a 9/11 truther.
Yeah.
Do you remember the time when you'd be like, you're fucking crazy? And now it's like, yeah, Michelle Obama's a man. It's true. I read it.
Right.
What are you talking about? Why are these conspiracies, so many of these conspiracies, normalized now? Because we have a conspirator in the White House. But
I feel like you kind of stumbled on a little bit right there too, because when you talked about Michelle Obama and how much credibility was given to stupid, idiotic statements about the Obamas in particular, how much credibility that was given, the rise of sensationalism in the media, to the point where all media has been doubted.
Yeah.
You could accredit it to the fall of accreditation, period, from newspapers going by the wayside. Because when you see something in print, it used to mean something,
Yeah.
But now, of course, papers going the way of the dodo, whatever. And all these websites that get equal traffic are getting as much credibility as everything else. Just Jared is a place for news. I just quoted TMZ. Do you realize a decade ago? How ridiculous quoting TMZ would have been? Because it's a tabloid.
I hated TMZ, man.
I still hate TMZ.
I still hate TMZ as well.
Yeah. But they actually do their work now.
Yeah, and this is another thing. This cartoonist was fired, and I have this in our show notes. Yeah. Over a political cartoon, and I don't know if you looked at the political cartoon that's in here.
I did. It made the rounds. I saw it.
It did. It became big news. He was fired for this, and I'm like, but it's the fucking truth.
Yeah, Dee actually pointed it out to me. The picture of the cartoon rather of Trump saying, "Mind if I play through?" as he's pushing the floating bodies away. Yeah,
and it's the image of the immigrants that was going around, who a father and a tiny child who died, and I'm sure you've either seen the photo or. I don't know. If you don't believe that this is this migrant crisis and border detaining situation is real, then you should look at the photo. If you if you believe it and are against it and are working to do whatever you can, whether it be call your representatives or donate to organizations, then you really don't need to look at it because it's very upsetting. But if you don't believe this is real, then you need to look at it because you need to be faced with the reality.
And this is what gets under my skin, among other things. But this is, in particular right now, the fact that we had 8 years of burning Obama in effigy, or just dummies of him, of caricatures of Obama with big ears and ape-like features.
Yeah.
With making fun of his wife for being in shape and having her arms bare, making her look like a wrestler, a bodybuilder, or whatever, in images like that. Of all these cartoonish, racist depictions of the Obamas over the years. And something like this, something that's actually ripped from the headlines, something that's legitimately a photo that the entire country saw, paired up with the satire of it. That's what gets people upset. I don't get that.
And the biting satire of like, this is what we're dealing with. This is the reality we live in right now. It's a powerful cartoon.
It is. And that's what scares them. And that's why they want to silence the free speech all of a sudden.
But who... Okay, this is what I will say, man. I saw people on both sides of the aisle getting angry about that image being used, the original image.
Yeah.
And, I saw a lot of... And you can feel free to throw this in there, like, a lot of people saying that if they weren't people of color, mm-hmm. that image would have been displayed with more care. Like the image of the original image, not the cartoon. That's what I meant.
You mean it wouldn't have been shown as frequently as it was?
Yeah, or it would have had more warnings, I guess. I don't know.
I would counter that with the fact that every single instance of police brutality that we've had against African Americans in these past few years has been posted without warning on Twitter, on Facebook, everywhere, to the point where friends of mine would just have to log off for days at a time because they would see it like every hour on the hour. Yeah.
I understand that. And I saw a lot of that, and I from a lot of writers and artists and stuff who I respect, and then there were a lot of white people and stuff going, we shouldn't be sharing this because, like responding to their response kind of thing, which I think is good to listen. But I also, it's weird because that's like I didn't necessarily agree, but I also felt like I couldn't disagree.
I feel like it's good to have the conversation. Just going back to that again. Yeah. It's good to have that conversation because that means people are paying attention. That means that this is actually doing its job to the point where it's disturbing you as a human being to see this.
That's my thing. I hate that it was going around. I hate that we all had to see it. Yeah, I hate that it was there, but I wish I'd never seen it. But that's kind of the point, isn't it? I wish I had never seen photos. Yes, of course, right. That's the original thing. But I wish that the Holocaust had never happened. I never had to see photos of the Holocaust, but it taught me this is what happens in history, and this is what the lessons you need to take away from this, which is the value of life, the value of understanding that these things can happen again, to never let them happen again, and holy fuck, they're happening again. Why aren't we doing anything? But it's there for a reason.
Well, I think that should be the next step. Like, holy fuck, why is this happening? We have to stop this from happening again. Yeah. What can I do to make this not happen again? How can I help? That's what I'm hoping is the next step in that thought process, and not just, we have to fucking shut this down and take it away and fire people. This shouldn't be on my screen. Yeah. No, how can you prevent this from happening to human beings? That's what we should be aiming for. Yeah,
I know. Oh god, it's so heavy.
I know. We started out this podcast
we didn't even plan on talking about. I don't even know how we got here.
It's my fault because I started talking about the Kaepernick thing, with the shoes and everything. Because it was on my mind, and it was like, all right,
no, maybe, it's there. We should talk about it. Let's talk about something happier because we just dealt with the heavy stuff.
We did.
Sometimes we go into the sour, but let's get to the sweet.
Speaking of sweet.
We got to deal with the shit. So are you taking the voiceover classes? Are you doing the thing?
That is a hard transition. And I've heard some hard transitions before. But yes.
Welcome to the fucking club.
Yep, here we are.
Fuck up, bitches.
All right. Yes, I am taking the voice classes, but
Good.
I'm not taking them at Second City. I talked to a friend of mine who is a voiceover actress, and she has some very good advice for me, and I actually shared a lot of that with you as well. And it all made sense. And she recommended the acting school of Chicago. So I'm going to be working with them come this September. Fortunately, they had a schedule that will not take away from our podcast schedule or any other activities and plans that I had in the works. So, yeah.
We wouldn't have not done the podcast. We would have just shifted the podcast. It might have changed when it's released or something. But we would have made it work.
Yeah, but this is easy peasy. This is Saturdays. This is a few hours on a Saturday. This is great. This is perfect. So I'm excited to get started. This is something that I've wanted to do for a long time.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm just, I don't know. It's like the anticipation of it. It's 2 months away, but I'm ready.
Patient.
There it is. Okay. Man, so I don't even know what it's going to be like, but they've got like orientation and everything like that. It seems like it's on the level. I'm excited.
Oh, what if you show up and it's just like a guy at a dumpster? It's just like, welcome.
My class is
doing
taught by
voiceovers.
Yeah. Acting Studio Chicago. That's what it is. I hope Oscar the Grouch doesn't work there, because that would be kind of weird.
I hope he does work there. That sounds awesome.
Right. Who did his voice on Sesame Street? Was it Frank Oz? I always think they're all Frank Oz.
They're all Frank Oz to me. I don't know.
Yeah. It's either Frank Oz or Jim Henson, and unfortunately one of them is gone. So.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Who died?
I bought it down again.
What if I didn't know Jim Henson was dead?
What if you did? Oh my God! Because they have that show. They have on Defunct Land. They're talking about the life of Jim Henson right now, and they keep on going to his different projects and like showing so much of how the development went and everything, but all of them happen concurrently. So when they get to the end of the project, they have to like rewind. Like there's a moment where they like rewind all the way back, and it's like, oh, stop it, please. We know how this is going to end, unfortunately.
That was the feeling when I read that biography of him. That was amazing.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
So I'm enjoying the Defunct Land documentary. This week they covered the Muppet Babies and just how popular that was. And I didn't realize how popular that show was. Like, it was a lot of fun.
I watched it a lot when I was little.
Yeah, I think everybody did, just because they kept playing it. Like, it was on all the time. They had a spin-off.
And now you can't get it.
Yeah, surprisingly, right?
I don't know why.
I think a lot of that has to do with the rights and stuff too, but that really shouldn't be a problem anymore. One little thing that they mentioned in the doc, and I'll let folks watch it so they can kind of be surprised, but one of the things they mentioned was the fact that when he used footage, because as you know, Muppet Babies used to like splice in footage of like movies and TV shows sometimes, most of which were in the public domain, but sometimes they'd use modern stuff too. So they did a whole episode where it was just like Indiana Jones, and Kermit was Indiana Jones.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, and the thing was, he didn't ask permission to use that footage. It was still in theaters.
God.
He just used it because of his friendship with George Lucas. And it was cool. And after that, they worked together again, so it wasn't even a big deal.
I was going to say, because like Rugrats did that and stuff too, but like they must have gotten permission.
At that point, yeah, they had to. But yeah, maybe because of the footage used in there. But now that it's all owned by Disney, I don't really see that being a problem.
Yeah, that's true.
So who knows?
I need to watch that.
Yep.
I have that on my, like I said, I got this YouTube backlog, which I love having.
Young Howie Mandel.
Okay, so this is speaking of movies and cultural stuff. Did you watch the Charlie's Angels trailer?
I didn't.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
It's worth it? Is it worth dipping back in?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Who's Bosley this time?
It's Elizabeth Banks. She wrote, directed, and is Bosley.
That's wild.
She's
okay.
Bosley. Yes.
Elizabeth Banks
so
has
excited.
such an interesting career trajectory, from Grey's Anatomy to Knocked Up to
You are
Wild
not
Style.
thinking of the right person.
No, I'm not. Okay.
That's Katherine Heigl.
Why? Oh my God.
Well, she wasn't Knocked
Elizabeth
Up,
Banks?
but she wasn't in Grey's Anatomy.
Oh.
Wait, no, she wasn't in Knocked Up. She was in 40-Year-Old Virgin. Sorry. Elizabeth Banks was in 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Okay, now I gotta look this up.
Zack and
Elizabeth
Mary make a
Banks.
porno.
Oh, yeah. That's who I'm thinking of then. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And 30 Rock.
So yes, obviously, yeah.
Yes.
She was.
She was the girl that
was
had a
my
big
Baltimore
trunk.
accent.
Okay.
GUO? Oh no. Yeah.
She was the one that had the trunk to put the bike in 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with it.
Great. So she's hilarious. But she's also been producing stuff for quite a while. So all of the Pitch Perfect movies, she produced all of those.
Oh, okay.
And then directed the second one. Not the third one because of scheduling issues or something like that. But so she directed one of those. That was her first movie. Now this is her second. Yeah. So she wrote this, directing it. She's the main person behind it. It's really cool. There's one part in the trailer where they show outfits, and they're the outfits from the previous Charlie's Angels movies. And I'm like, oh my God, do they exist in the same universe, or is that just an Easter egg? I don't care. I'm excited.
Yeah, maybe.
I've talked about this. I loved those movies.
Yeah, it's
more
good
recent
stuff.
ones, but now this excites me even more because it's made for women.
Yeah.
Made by women for women kind of thing. Whereas before it was dudes making it. And they were still badass. I really hope they find a way to bring back Drew and Lucy Liu and Cameron Diaz. Incorporate the two universes together. That would be amazing. They're former angels. Yes.
I can see it. It could work. It could totally work.
I'm excited. As always, there was the bullshit of dudes trying to say Kristen Stewart's not hot or whatever. I don't care. First of all, you're wrong. Second of all, she ain't for you. She ain't for you.
I don't care. I just don't care. I don't know, man.
I don't I both don't care and also go, she's not for you. This is for us. This is ours. Not everything can be for you.
Yeah. I just want to watch a movie starring women kicking ass where it's not about, sexy times. I don't give a fuck.
No, that's what this looks like, man.
Cool.
That's a part of it, because the whole thing with Charlie's Angels, it's always been go undercover.
Yeah.
Infiltrate. So, they have to be that way at times to infiltrate whatever the situation is. I don't know. I loved the early 2000s Charlie's Angels movies, so I'm very excited. I'm going to see this one in theaters.
Cool.
Give a fuck what other people think.
I'm excited for you. It looks like it's going to be good.
I'm excited for myself.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you something I'm excited about. Stranger Things.
Yeah. It's coming back
July.
this week. Tomorrow?
That's right.
Tomorrow night?
That's right.
No, I'm not staying up to do that. So, Thursday.
No? Yeah.
No, fuck that. I can't enjoy it. I'm also going to have to turn off social media until I finish it because people are going to be dicks and watch it all the way through.
Because you're going to want to watch it with your dad or something? Or?
Yeah, he watches it too. So I'm not that way with everything, but there are some shows that he watches that he enjoys. So I'm not going to wait weeks, but I'm going to watch it this weekend, but I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah, so stay away from comic book resources, comicbook.com, Hollywood Reporter, all that bullshit, because they like to, well, not Hollywood Reporter so much, but comicbook.com, absolutely. They already have articles up. Spider-Man came out today. The new Spider-Man movie came out today. They're talking about, what the post-credits scene meant on Spider-Man and how it changes the MCU forever. It's how do I not click on that? How do I not click on that?
Oh,
but it
did you
just
get
came
spoiled?
out. I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't.
I was going to say, well, if you clicked on that, that's your own damn fault, son.
Right. But, they suck for even that bait. It's just give us a couple days, guys.
I'm drinking Stranger Things themed Coke right now.
Nice. Yeah.
It's not actually anything other than a tall boy of Coke. But I have this thing, and I've done this for years, and I have one dating back to like Spider-Man 2 or something like that, where if it's a theme can, individual can that I can buy at like a gas station or on its own, I will buy it, typically superhero stuff. So I've got a whole collection of stuff like this.
Oh, you keep them. That's cool.
Yeah. So if I don't like the soda, I will just pop it open, drink it, and then keep the can. And then if I don't like the soda, so like I got a Coke Zero as well, because the can they had a regular Coke and a Coke Zero version of the can. So like what I do with that is I just pop open the bottom, drain it out, and then preserve the can.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I ended up getting a couple of cans from their promotion that they did with Coke of the Coke 2 variety of the New Coke.
New Coke. That's how you say it in Baltimore. New Coke.
New Coke. So
that is
for those
like
that don't
three
know,
people, you're laughing your at. No, you're not.
So New Coke was a thing back in the 80s where they tried to make a reformulation of Coca-Cola. They tried to give it a new flavor, basically.
Yeah. The thing that's not broken, they were like, let's fix it.
One of the staples of American culture. They were like, you know what? Let's not introduce a new flavor. Let's just take away the thing everybody loves and just replace it with Folgers crystals.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's be fair here. Pepsi was killing it at that time. The
Were
Pepsi
they?
challenge. Yeah, no. Coke was losing the market. I watched like a whole documentary that featured that phenomenon, and it was basically like the Pepsi challenge was a great ad campaign. And at that time, you have to remember they had like Michael Jackson. Pepsi has had great ads and publicity and all of that stuff attached to their product in the past.
Well, Coca-Cola created Santa Claus, so they have that.
And penguins. No, but so basically,
penguins.
New Coke was a branding idea to try to challenge Pepsi with like the Pepsi challenge stuff.
And you know what? It's funny because before I get into my, reminiscing about New Coke, I'll tell you what Dee said when she took a sip of it. She's like, it tasted like somebody mixed Pepsi and Coke together, which is it's pretty accurate,
Pepsi
actually.
And
I'm like,
cocaine?
You know what? It does taste like Pepsi and Coke together.
It tastes like cocaine.
Strangely enough, when I was coming up, like we another tale of squalor from Matt. We couldn't afford Coke. We had to drink RC
let me play
Cola.
a little violin for you.
Yeah. We couldn't afford high fructose corn syrup in my house. We had to wait until we got pizza to get the free liter of RC Cola with it. And
it wasn't even Coke then. It was RC.
RC, that was good drinking. And
so what did you drink again? Just generic, like?
Just RC.
No, I meant like when you. So that was what you drank when you would get soda.
When I would get soda, it was RC, or it was like a can of like Orange Crush out of the machine or something.
Okay.
Like I wasn't big on like colas like growing up, but as I became big on it, like I started drinking
soda
Coke.
Pop?
We call it pop here.
Gotcha.
I go either way. I don't really care. I like the way soda sounds when I say it. But anyway, backing all the way up, New Coke was quickly scrubbed. But they had a lot of like inventory left over, so they rebranded it in 1992 as Coke 2.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
And Coke 2 was always cheaper than original Coca-Cola Classic.
Yeah.
So for 99 cents, you can get a 2-liter from any corner store and just like fuck that up, and it was great.
Yeah.
Like they even had it for like 69 cents in some places too. Nice. But
yeah.
Yeah.
The only dinner for two.
Wow, that was weird.
That was Childish Gambino.
We found the line.
That was Childish Gambino. I literally was just quoting Childish Gambino.
I know. Yeah, so
Cat,
Coke 2
black?
was my... I've been accused of not. Coke 2 was my go-to cola for a long time. And then I was like, oh, well, let me try what regular Coke tastes like. And it's like, no, I can't go back.
Yeah, you can't go back.
You can't go back. But it was good drinking Coke 2 for a minute just to reminisce.
Okay.
I think it'd be dangerous if they put it back out on the market because it kind of tasted good to the point where I would give up like my hiatus of just full-fledged Coca-Cola.
Interesting.
That might have something to do with it too, because I usually don't drink like full-on Coke. I usually just drink Coke Zero. So the fact that I had sugar in my system was like, ooh, yeah, this is what you missed.
I can't do. I used to do the, like Coke Zero, Diet Coke, and all that. Like, and I just can't anymore. I'm like, I'd rather have less soda, like less frequently, like once a week or whatever, and just have a real legit thing than this nonsense. I'm really into like the real sugar Pepsi. That's my jam.
Thing. Yeah.
It
oh
makes
my goodness.
Difference. God damn.
Mexican Coke is just like heavenly. It is.
Right.
Comes in a bottle,
so
real
the
sugar.
The nice part about Coke or Pepsi is that they have real sugar Pepsi readily available. Like any gas station you go into has real sugar Pepsi.
That's true.
And
yeah. In my market too. Yeah.
Yeah. Any or most of the time I go to like Target or whatever, and they will have like a sleeve of real sugar Pepsi you can get in like cans. So Coke doesn't readily available that real sugar option, and they do the same. Pepsi does the same thing with like Mountain Dew. I think they have like a throwback Mountain Dew that's always available, and Dr. Pepper too. I think that are both real sugar rather than the high fructose corn syrup, and you like feel better from it too. Like you don't feel. I mean, it's sugar. It's not good for you. It's not like a healthy alternative. Like it's still fucking terrible for you, but it doesn't make you feel as messed up.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, that's cool. Some other parties tried to have some tie-ins with Stranger Things as well. My rival, my arch nemesis, the king of burgers, decided to try something crazy and serve Whoppers upside down for a limited time at select locations. Why? Why not?
Do you know the origin? I just learned this today, which is why I was wondering if you know this. Do you know why they're saying is have it your way?
Because at one point, McDonald's wouldn't let you do a special order.
I was fascinated by that.
Yeah.
I learned that today.
Then everybody lets you do a special order, so it means nothing.
Yeah. Well, it's their origin story.
Okay.
So
anyway, so in addition to that, they had some wacky contest where you could have won some money or something like that. And of course,
I'm convinced no one ever wins those.
No, me neither. Especially Burger King.
Have you ever met anyone who's won one of those competitions?
I gotta tell you, if I win one of those competitions, nobody's ever gonna know about it because I don't want anybody coming up asking me for cash.
Well, okay, to be fair, yes, but I'm not talking about necessarily winning lottery or winning a lot of money. I agree with you on that front. I mean like winning a PlayStation from Taco Bell or some shit like that. That's like a product like that. I've never seen any of it.
Well, I know a guy that used to win Lego raffles all the time, but he's striking out lately.
Yeah, I fucking know that asshole too.
Last but not least, Baskin Robbins is doing a tie-in because I guess a big plot point of the season, which is in all their advertising, is this ice cream shop called what was it? Something Ahoy?
I don't know. I've been avoiding all promotion. I haven't watched any like trailers or anything for it since the original, that first one that they came out with. It's basically just the like sign. So I don't know.
Oh,
but
okay.
That makes sense. So what is the flavor?
Scoops Ahoy. So it's not just a flavor. They have like a whole variety of different products that would be sold at Scoops Ahoy. Things like the USS Butterscotch.
Okay. So they have multiple flavors for this.
Yeah.
Stranger Things tie-in.
They have whole collectible quarts for you to get.
Oh.
Like a Stranger Things branded Baskin Robbins quart of ice cream.
Have they been this heavy on merch before?
Baskin Robbins? Hell no.
No. Stranger Things.
No. This is like.
I remember it being this heavy.
Right. Me too. Same.
Especially considering they're just going to cancel it anyway.
Yeah.
It's season 3. They're fucking done, right? Isn't that when they're done with all their shows now?
Pretty much. They're like one step above Valve when it comes to numbering things.
Yeah. So, Wall of Weird.
Wall of Weird.
I'm sorry,
Let's
were you
do it.
done with your Baskin Robbins story?
I guess. No, the last thing with Stranger Things 3, there's a game coming out. From
Really?
Yeah, for the Switch.
Okay.
It's like a top-down 16-bit
I'm
game.
Out. All right.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of these.
You mentioned that before.
I hope everyone who plays it enjoys it.
Yeah, but it's coming out on the same day, so it's coming out in a couple days. So
cool.
Neat.
Well, you can play it and let me know, or someone can play it. Let us know.
I mean, maybe, I guess. I'd rather just watch
Give us
shit.
one, Netflix. Look, we're working with DC now. You gotta compete.
That's right.
Yeah.
Shout out to DC, especially with all the heavy subject matter we've been saying this episode. Shout out to DC.
They don't have to know that.
Hey, they probably aren't even listening, but that's fine. If they are, I got a great idea for a young Green Lantern story. So
I have a great idea to piggyback on Matt's idea. So a minute, we'll make shit for you. We'll make Swamp Thing work, man. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. We'll do it.
Poor Swamp Thing.
Poor Swamp Thing. Did not deserve that. Just it is budgetary stuff. So
yeah.
All right, what was this weird ass toilet thing you?
Oh God! All right, so I wanted to read this a little bit here.
Yeah.
All right.
Because the one that I put on there was just from our catalog, so this can be our Wall of Weird story.
I saw that, and I'm like, oh wait a minute, we've got to talk about this. So
this one comes. Wall of Weird story then. Cool.
Okay, so this comes from the Sheboygan Press. Sheboygan serial toilet clogger sentenced to 150 days in jail and probation.
Okay.
A 35-year-old Sheboygan man was sentenced Monday to 3 years of probation for clogging women's toilets in Dellen Park and at his place of work. Patrick D. Beeman was originally charged with 12 misdemeanors.
Wait, Patrick Beeman?
Yes, Patrick Beeman.
Patrick Beeman, that's the American Psycho guy, right?
He's an American Psycho, all right.
Is this article real?
It's legit.
Okay.
From the Sheboygan Press.
Okay, Sheboygan, continue.
Sheboygan. Oh, they did make one amendment. The story has been corrected after originally including the incorrect age for Patrick Beeman.
Okay.
Patrick Beeman was originally charged with 12 misdemeanors of criminal damage to property. Damn. But 7 of the charges were dismissed in early June. As conditions of probation, Beeman will have to serve 150 days in jail, pay more than $5,500 in restitution, not be allowed to possess or consume alcohol or any controlled substances, and complete 100 hours of community service. While the state only recommended Beeman serve 30 days in jail as part of his probation, Judge Kent Hoffman sentenced him to 30 days for each of the 5 counts of criminal damage to property served consecutively, citing the need for a more severe punishment. That means that this man fucked up toilets so badly, he has to serve 30 days in jail for each one.
How many counts were there again?
Holy shit. 5.
So, oh my God. That's insane.
I mean, he just fucked up toilets that badly that they're like, no, man, you can't be allowed back into society until you figure this shit out. Because, and you can't drink. So there's alcohol involved in this too. Yeah,
I mean, clearly. How could it not be involved with that? Oh my God.
Could you imagine? Hey, what are you in for? Well, I knocked over a bank. What about you? What?
He's the mad pooper. From Bob's Burgers.
I fucked up some women's toilets. I'm sorry.
He's the mad pooper from Bob's Burgers.
I mean, wow.
Oh my God.
Man.
That is good Wall of Weird content.
That's weird, all right.
Yeah. What is wrong with you people? What's
and if
going
you're gonna
on
do
in
something,
Sheboygan? Where's Sheboygan
if you're gonna do
again?
something bad, don't do it in Sheboygan.
Where's Sheboygan again? Do you know?
It's everywhere.
That's not.
I don't know. It's in Wisconsin, right?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
Yes, Sheboygan is in Wisconsin. It's a city in Wisconsin.
You're like, it's this place, right? I'm like, bitch, I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Yep. So, if you see a man in Sheboygan who shares a name with an American Psycho, watch out. Don't let him use your washroom.
Why did they...
I mean, really, can you imagine? Hey, can I use your washroom?
Also,
no.
How old was he again? 35?
35.
35.
What are you eating at 35 that's making you fuck up washrooms like that?
I don't know. I also am trying to figure out how his name is Patrick Beeman. Like, did his parents fuck up that much? But, like, he's not young enough.
Wasn't it Bateman from
American Psycho?
Psycho?
Let's look it up. Maybe it just sounds like it. Patrick Beeman.
B-Man.
Sheboygan is the first thing that goes to. It's not the same name. No, it's got to be Patrick Bateman.
Yeah.
Bateman is American Psycho. Yeah, you were right.
Okay.
Wait, I'm sorry. American Psycho 2? Why?
Yeah, with Mila Kunis.
Mila Kunis, what the fuck?
She was the American Psycho-er.
Wait, what?
Yup.
What is this? Do I need to watch this now?
Nope, you don't. Add it to your list of straight-to-DVD sequels that really kind of just were lost to obscurity.
Oh, but I kind of want to watch this. This looks dope.
I mean, Mila Kunis has been in better stuff.
I mean, that is certainly true.
Yes.
2002.
Yeah. I think I
I
was working at a video store when that came out,
oof.
and it never left the shelf.
Just the cover alone is like, guys, we have Mila Kunis, that's it.
Then I think it was in modern day, too, or something like that. It just really didn't hold up to the source material.
Is she supposed to be his kid or something?
I think so. I didn't care enough to look. Anyway, Wall of Weird, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait. I'm sorry. The film starts with 12-year-old girl whose babysitter is on a date with Patrick Bateman.
Oh, okay.
He kills and starts to dissect the babysitter.
Uh-huh.
She kills him with an ice pick. Wait. Hold on. This Mila Kunis murders Patrick Bateman.
That's what kicks off the movie.
Holy shit.
But you know it's not him. You know it's not Chris whatever his name is.
Who cares?
Yeah. You're just here for Mila Kunis and that's it.
I mean, aren't we all?
I mean, her acting in those like whiskey commercials is better than this movie.
Have you seen this movie?
I've seen bits and pieces of it, yes.
Okay, gotcha. I don't know. I mean, hey. I am fascinated about this. I'm going to have to watch this. This sounds just bad enough for me to have to go watch this. As long as it's streaming somewhere. And by somewhere, I mean YouTube.
Or Amazon Prime or something.
I'm sure it's somewhere. It's
got to be somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it never came up on digital dumpster diving because it seems like it's right up our alley.
Yeah.
All right. So.
Graphic novels.
Graphic novel challenge. How did you fare this week?
I didn't like the Scooby-Doo Apocalypse that I read last week.
What about it?
I don't know. It just didn't grab me.
Okay.
I just wasn't feeling it. Maybe I need Scooby-Doo to be a cartoon.
Did we talk about the new Scooby cartoon coming out? Just to kind of...
Yes, you sent me a video or something about it, and I was like, oh, I'm intrigued, because I watched it, and I was like, they're keeping the original style, which surprised me, and you were like, they've always done that. You're like, no, they've never gotten rid of that style, and I was like, oh, okay.
So for those, because I don't think we talked about it on the show, so for those that don't know, it's a new Scooby-Doo project called Scooby-Doo and Guess Who, and they're going back to the formula of having different guest stars show up, like the Harlem Globetrotters used to do, and Don Knotts, but they've updated a little bit, so now it's like
Ricky Gervais.
Ricky Gervais, Kenan Thompson, Wanda Sykes, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Mark Hamill,
That's awesome.
And then fictional characters like Batman and The Flash and Steve Urkel.
Yeah. Cool.
But what's interesting is it looks like they've got Kate McCucci as Velma.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love her.
Yeah, I didn't look up the cast or anything like that.
Yeah, and then Matthew Lillard is back as Shaggy.
He should be. That's good. I'm glad
he was so great. I mean, he doesn't look anything like Shaggy anymore, but he sounds like Shaggy.
No, I remember he was really mad at I guess they're doing another Scooby-Doo movie, and they just announced that he's not in it, and he was really upset over that. I was like, I feel like that's kind of, didn't you see that coming though?
That's a shady way to do it. Yeah.
I know, but like I still kind of, I'm always surprised that actors are surprised with how terrible Hollywood is.
Yeah.
I'm like, you didn't know this going in, that they were going to be awful to you? They've been awful to everyone always. Sweetie.
Yep.
Sweet baby. Sweet chili baby. You.
If you do watch Good Girls, it's kind of funny if you think about it as like Shaggy's life, like way down the line. I've seen
a bit of the first season. I liked what I saw of it. I just haven't caught up with it.
It gets crazy. But yeah, it's like Shaggy, all grown up, living his life, and still got a thing for redheads because of Christina Hendricks and everything. But it's sad. But it's a good show. Yeah. Don't let me get you wrong. No, it's a good show. It's a good show.
When I
but we're getting way off topic here.
The beginning of watching it, I was like, this is like a new Breaking Bad, but a little bit different. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. So my pick last week didn't really grab me. I'm not completely ruling out trying like the Flintstones one though in the future.
Yeah.
And maybe it was that first volume that didn't grab me either. Like, you never know.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard good things about it, but
I don't know what it was.
I'm not the biggest Scooby fan, so I can't really.
I liked the show when I was a kid, so I thought maybe that, I don't know, it just wasn't grabbing me. Yep. I
think I've mentioned before too, like my favorite version of Scooby-Doo is a pup named Scooby-Doo.
Yes, agreed. Loved it.
I'm disappointed that we never get more of that. Like, that was my favorite version.
I forgot that exists, and now I need to go online and look that up later.
The theme song alone, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. I read Deathstroke Volume 1.
Yeah, what'd you think of it?
Christopher Priest wrote it. It was alright. It was typical DC.
We had a lackluster week, didn't we?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't anything like, surprising or groundbreaking. It was like, all right, it's a book about Deathstroke.
Yeah.
He's a villain. There you go. The artwork was good. The pacing was decent. Christopher Priest is a good writer. He's just a predictable writer. That's all.
Wow, shots fired. Okay.
I mean, I could even shine it up a little bit and say he's consistent.
Yeah. What's your pick for this week?
My pick for this week, it's a book that I've been meaning to read for quite some time now, and it's called Curse Words.
I've never heard of this. What is this?
Yeah. So Curse Words was a book, oh my goodness, what is the writer's name? It's from Image. Charles Soule, mm-hmm. I want to say his name is.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how to pronounce it.
He wrote it, and it was illustrated by Ryan Brown. Now, Ryan Brown is somebody that I've met several times at different conventions. He's a great guy. He's a lot of fun, very engaging. But he is the creator of one of my favorite comics of all time, God Hates Astronauts.
I've never read that, but I've heard of it.
Almost impossible to describe, but his art style is very striking. And the story is just so off the rails that... it features Carl Winslow, another Family Matters reference. That's two. It features Carl Winslow as a character, but he's gnarled Winslow because he got his arms ripped off in the line of duty, and they had to replace them with gorilla arms. So now he's a gorilla armed police officer, and he's in the story. And
is that racist or not?
Not at all.
Okay, cool.
No. It's all good.
That sounds okay. That sounds insane. And so what is Curse Words then? So
Curse Words is, I don't know yet. I gotta read it.
Okay.
I've heard good things. I mean, it's been recommended to me several times.
Okay,
so I want to check it out. Yeah.
This week I'm reading Giant Days, Volume 1. This is like a college. It's about kids in college.
Oh, okay.
Protagonist is a female. I think it's written by a woman, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember what the writer's name is because I'm blanking. Let me see if it's on my phone.
I was hoping that it was the follow-up to the critically acclaimed Demon Days.
Alison Schreiben Kogar.
Okay.
I'm probably butchering the shit out of her name.
Now, this is something I've heard of, too.
Yes, and it's got quite a few
about
volumes and issues out there.
Yeah.
It's been on my to-read list for a while. Because I love, like, sweet, grounded stories. I don't necessarily need a big superhero book every week.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where I screwed up, too, because I went back to the well too soon, to the superheroes and everything. So, yeah.
Indies are that sometimes.
Yeah, a nice little indie vibe will be good for us this week.
Yep, I'm excited to read it, so...
Yep, so am I. So, folks, that's our picks of the week. Of course, you can go to Third Coast Comics and get 10% off any book we've mentioned over these past several months for the graphic novel challenge. Yeah, it's good stuff.
The challenge that never ends.
The challenge never ends. Don't forget to enter our contest for your copy of Teen Titans Raven. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
That's right. So I guess that's all we have for this episode. We want to go ahead and direct your attention to Patreon at this point.
That's what I was going to say. If you go over to Patreon this week, we're going to be talking about Ghostbusters.
That's right.
Ooh.
The good, the bad, the ugly, the stuff that hasn't even happened yet. We're excited about a lot of things.
And we have a lot of feelings about a lot of things. You have to go over to our Patreon. Go check it out, patreon.com/Lex and Matt.
Word.
Check out all of the tiers. If you get into $5, you can get bonus content, support the show. We're guaranteeing 2 bonus episodes a month.
That's right.
Sometimes more, because like this last week, Matt put up Resnaculous bonus exclusive first look in that one.
Long lost episode of Resnaculous that I usually publish on the Since Last We Spoke channel. But I figured, give a little treat to our listeners since they've been so wonderful to support the Patreon in this fashion. I mean, you guys have been so generous, and we really appreciate everything that you've done. As you can hear, I'm getting all choked up about it, and my voice is trying to leave me now. So, I've given enough to this. We're going to give some love to the mini episode before the voice completely
Please support our show on Patreon.
Yes.
And be excellent to each other.
Yep, that's it. Take care, folks.
Bye.